Good afternoon and welcome back to the Lynn Lowdown. I'm Danny Vittori, and today we welcome on the Mass Senior Action Council, two of their members. Thank you so much for coming back on.
Thank you, Danny, for having us. We love being here and sharing all the work that we're doing in the community and in the state.
Oh, yes.
My name's Pam Edwards, and I'm Director of Organizing.
Great.
Thank you, Danny, for having us. My name is Debbie Craig, and I am the Secretary of the North Shore Chapter of the Mass Senior Action Council.
And we were actually just discussing before we came on, you're the second largest chapter in the state, only Boston is a little bit more, and you're also celebrating 44 years, which is amazing.
That is correct.
Yes, we're very excited and proud of the work that we've been able to do to improve the lives of seniors and our communities across the state.
So you already answered my next question of what your main goals are, but you just said it, so I guess we'll just hop right in. I know one thing that's been a big point to talk about in general is Medicare, so lowering costs, what's been happening with some of the offices, and I know that was something that you definitely wanted to speak about.
Yeah, so several years ago, we worked with UMass Gerontology to do a study, and we found that Massachusetts ranks 50th for senior income security. So that means out of all 50 states, seniors in Massachusetts are the least secure financially.
Yeah.
And mainly, those costs derive from healthcare, housing, and transportation. Mm-hmm. So that's why a lot of our focus is trying to relieve those cost burdens.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I know you were specifically talking about the QMB program. That was the specific graphic that I know you sent to us. So what was that for people who aren't familiar, which I'm not?
Right. So the QMB program is part of one of the tiers of the Medicare Savings Program. This is to relieve people on Medicare. This is not insurance. It is a program that is run by the state with help, financial support through the federal government. This will help people in the certain income as shown, $2,498 for a single person and $3,368. This is very important because whenever we started this Medicare Savings Program, seniors that were over $1,900 got zero help. But 64 and under could have triple that amount of income and still get help.
Oh.
So now, anybody that is in this program, they should have zero out-of-pocket expenses for any Medicare procedure in their monthly. The only time that they should have is minor costs for co-payments on prescription. If they're on this program and a provider bills them, we're asking them not to pay it. We're working with the AG's office to clear up any miscommunication and to let all providers know that it is illegal to bill anyone that's on that program.
But it is still a challenge because there's so many people that are getting billed, and the state is fighting hard to figure out why this is happening. It's coming directly from the Medicare office, and hopefully within today's political environment, there won't be more cuts there and take longer for people to get their bills straightened out.
Yeah, because and medical bills too, they're so complicated. I've gotten billed before and gone, I genuinely don't know what half of this means.
Exactly.
So you have to figure out that element of it as well, what you're being charged for, what you should be, how that whole situation works. And as you were mentioning too, there's been cuts with Medicare, Social Security offices. There's these huge cuts that are obviously really negatively affecting people who are who rely on that money to live, right?
Yes, so right now, the way Medicaid and Medicare works is money comes from the federal government to help with those programs. When Medicaid money is then matched by the state at a certain amount. So what Congress is saying is that those cuts are not going to happen for 2.5 years. So we are trying to beef up the state's ability to keep these cornerstones in place and to make sure people that need health care have health care. And we are looking at some different ways to raise revenue so that it's not on the backs of the most vulnerable, and to try to move that gauge from 6 and 10 seniors. we don't want to put a bigger burden on the ones that are already flat out.
I know. The one, yeah, I say that just got put up there. And then also another thing that you mentioned that before, but another thing that you mentioned was also when you were speaking about higher property taxes for seniors, saying they don't really have control over like the assets, like how things are assessed. So that can be really a struggle too, where if they still have the higher taxes, but now they're not getting the income, and it's not going to match. The math doesn't work, right?
Exactly. And it's not only the homeowners, but it's the renters, which
Right.
are many in the city of Lynn.
Right.
What some of them may not realize is as property taxes go up for the mortgagee, the owner of their home, that's going to get passed on to the renter in their higher rents. So it's an important issue that everybody needs to pay attention to, and everybody needs to try to jump in and see what we can do to lower those taxes.
Yeah, it was mentioned on one of your graphics you said the income guidelines were too low. So what was that? What did that mean?
So the city has worked with Mass Senior Action ever since about 2021 to try to update the relief that is offered by the city to certain groups that are on fixed income.
Okay.
So like there's the senior work-off program that got tripled. It was $500, now it's $1,500. And you can go to City Hall and volunteer some hours. How many hours, Debbie, do you put in?
It's 105 hours a year.
A year. And then as long as you have your application in by April 1, you can get placed with your talent, your skills, your interest, and work those hours, and then you get $1,500 right off of your property tax bill.
Oh, wow.
That can be huge for many people. But we still are looking at assessed values because the property owner and truly even the residents of the city do not have any control over what that assessed value.
Right.
And if you look at how much the city is charging per square for property taxes, it has truly went down. It's down almost $6 than what it was 4 or 5 years ago. But the assessed values are up 50, 75, 120,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're not seeing it, and we are not against fair taxes.
No.
Mass Senior Action appreciates taxes. We love sidewalks, senior centers, and so we know the good that can be done. It's just that we have to figure out a fair way to do it.
Right.
And we've been in Lynn locally working on that. Our Boston chapter has done a lot. And then now we're going statewide. And again, as Debbie said, landowners, whether it's renters, whomever, senior homeowners, and we're specifically looking at 60 and over property taxes.
Oh, okay.
And Lynn, like other cities around us, bigger, same size, Peabody, Salem, we don't have any industry. We have 90% residential tax rate. So it's much harder for us to raise more revenue because we have no businesses coming in.
Yeah, you can't balance it out
No.
with larger revenue stream. So, and you actually ran to my next topic as well, really well, talking about statewide. Is Mass Senior Action also you said you joined a lawsuit against Social Security and DOES, which is about Social Security, all the changes being made, the longer wait times, closing of offices, later checks, which obviously all have incredibly negative effects, especially on seniors who rely on it.
Yeah, so on April 1st, we kicked off the announcement of this, that Mass Senior Action was asked to join as plaintiffs in a national lawsuit. Our partners in Justice on Aging, which are attorneys who really focus on senior services, 65 and over, health care, long-term care, the things people depend on, they asked us to join them because what was announced and what happened is they wanted to reduce Social Security Administration by 7%, but now it's up to 12%. And they couldn't do it by, cutting Debbie and other seniors' Social Security check, at least yet. But what they're doing, instead of, saying, oh, hey, I cut your check, they're cutting your access. When you close offices and lay off people who answer the phone, Whenever you lay off people who do the computer tech, that is negatively impacting the people that have earned these benefits. Let's be honest, earned these
Right.
benefits.
Right.
So we had a woman that was on hold for 7 hours. 7 hours. And the reason she was on the phone is because her check comes on a certain day and it hadn't come for 5 days and her rent was due. So we had a woman who had been being overpaid and didn't realize it because it's direct deposit. And a lot of seniors just, they pay their rent.
Assume.
Yeah, they pay
They
their
assume
rent and they know that they don't have that much money anyway, so it's not like they're budgeting or balancing their checkbook
Right.
every month.
Right.
By the time they got up to her, it was in March, after some things had happened. And used to what would happen if there was a mistake and an overpayment, they would not take more than 10% until you paid off. Boom, they took her whole $1,200. $1,200, not $6,000. She's only getting $1,200 anyway.
Right.
And she was going to be short the next month too. So that's the kind of things that our lawsuit is trying to stop. So if anyone was trying to go through the portal, through the website, and that crashed, that's been happening. If there's been a mistake on their check, please call us, and we can, that's the way that we win things, is through people's personal experience and stories.
And you have to call them in order to get an appointment. You have to have an appointment to go down there and talk to them, and just trying to get the appointment with them is jumping through hoops. And a lot of these people, this is their only income that they're going to be having. And if they have to wait months for it, they do get behind in their rent, they're not eating, they're not paying their medical. It's a real issue for seniors.
Yeah, it affects every single aspect of their lives, like you said.
And the real people that are going to feel it are the folks who are applying for the first time, who are turning 65, or who just became, maybe disabled, and they're getting ready to go on there. Or a parent who loses the other parent or partner, and that child needs that income from the lost parent. Those are the people that are really going to be burdened.
You said anyone who is burdened can call you, reach out to you, and really connect.
Yes.
It's all about getting the people involved, getting the
Right.
voices louder.
Yes, yeah. And prior to these cuts, Social Security Administration proved that it has like less than 3% fraud.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
It's nothing. And they were already working at a 50% less staffing
Right.
than they were 5-6 years ago. Yet, we're hitting the baby boomer generation.
More people applying, more people needing.
Yes, yes. We're talking millions more between now and 2030.
Right.
Yeah, so if you keep reducing it, then that's just going to make the problem worse and worse and worse,
Exactly.
right?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know. And I said I have to wrap up now, but I mean, I think have to wrap up in a moment. But again, I do have to thank you both so much for coming on to bring light to these issues, to really show people that there is a place to go if they need help with any of these and more.
Yes, thank you, Danny.
Of course.
Yes, thank you for giving us the time to get those issues out in the open, Danny.
Of course, anytime. And thank you again both so much. And once again, I'm Danny Vittori. This has been the Lynn Lowdown, and we'll see you next week with more guests.